dedicated workers who have transformed the business landscape not just in their country, but around the world. As historic partners and close friends, Canada and India have the chance to take their partnership to the next level and unlock the untapped potential in their commercial ties. To that effect, I spent the better part of yesterday meeting with business leaders and entrepreneurs while in Mumbai. That included a roundtable with women entrepreneurs where I welcomed their call to action to all businesses to step up and end the systemic barriers that prevent women from being recognized as the leaders they are. During each event, I shared some of the things Canada has been doing to build an economy based on innovation and create the right conditions for businesses to prosper and workers to thrive. I was pleased to announce commercial contracts and agreements between Canadian and Indian companies worth more than $1 billion. These new partnerships will create more than 5,800 good middle-class jobs for Canadians. J'étais heureux d'annoncer la conclusion de contrats et d'ententes commerciales entre le Canada et l'Inde d'une valeur de plus de $1 milliard. Ces nouveaux partenariats créeront plus de 5 800 bons emplois pour les Canadiens de la classe moyenne. This marks the beginning of a new chapter in our commercial relationship, one marked by shared prosperity and closer cooperation between Indians and Canadians. Indeed, these commercial partnerships will encourage entrepreneurship, boost innovation, and increase collaboration in several key industries, including film production, aerospace, and clean tech. Nous nous apprêtons à entamer la deuxième partie de notre voyage demain. Au cours des prochains jours, nous continuerons de renforcer et de multiplier les liens qui unissent le Canada et l'Inde, comme nous l'avons fait depuis notre arrivée. J'aurai notamment l'occasion de m'adresser au Delhi Business Forum, organisé par le Conseil de commerce Canada-Inde, où je parlerai de commerce et d'investissement. Vendredi, je rencontrerai le Premier ministre Narendra Modi pour discuter de l'avenir de la relation qu'entretiennent nos deux pays. Le Canada et l'Inde sont non seulement des partenaires solides, mais des amis de longue date, unis par des valeurs communes et des ambitions semblables pour leur population. Nous avons maintenant l'occasion de bâtir sur les liens déjà forts qui existent entre nos pays en vue d'offrir de meilleures occasions à nos citoyens et faire croître nos économies. C'est donc dans cet esprit de collaboration et de progrès que je vais rencontrer mon homologue plus tard cette semaine. Once again, I want to thank you all for joining us on this trip, and I'm happy to take your questions.
Good afternoon, Prime Minister. Jagdish Kariwal from Canadian Punjabi Post. You have hosted about international students in Ahmedabad, especially students from India who goes to Canada for study. Although they get study visa for study there, but their main purpose is to get PR there. Recently, what I have noticed that a lot of students are committing suicides and depressions, and the mental issues is, mental health is becoming a big issue with them. What our government is how our government is going to handle this issue with them?
We've recognized that investing in our immigration system and ensuring that it is faster in its processing times and better able to support people who want either to come to Canada or family reunification or student visas is something that is a priority. One of the things we move forward on is creating better paths for students to then become permanent residents, because a student who studies, who lives in Canada for many years is often one of the best candidates to contribute and grow our economy in meaningful ways. So we recognize that ensuring a smooth path for international students to remain in Canada is a great path towards growing our economy and creating opportunity for people around the world. At the same time, we of course take issues around mental health very seriously, which is why as a government we've invested historic amounts in mental health in agreements with the provinces totaling well over $5 billion in the coming years. And the leadership we're showing in recognizing particularly mental health issues amongst youth is something that I've talked about around the world as something we're looking forward to encouraging other countries to do a better job of.
Year 2018, their first batch of work permit is going to expire, and they're not getting the quality jobs. They get abused by the employers. They don't speak up because they need the LMI from them. This contributes to for their depressions and mental issues and the suicides. So is there anything you can do better for them?
The issue of temporary foreign workers is one that, as a government, we recognize that previous governments did a very poor job on. We know we need to make sure that we are delivering the program in a way that ensures that Canadians get jobs first, but that also people who are temporary foreign workers in Canada are properly treated, properly supported. This cannot be a negative impact on either communities or individuals, and that's why we're continuing to improve the temporary foreign worker program because we know it has to be right for Canadians and right for our businesses.
Mr. Prime Minister, have you invited the the Chief Minister of Punjab to visit Canada?
This meeting was about relaunching and deepening and improving the relationship between Canada and Punjab. Obviously, there are deep, deep ties between Canada and Punjab through the many Sikh Canadians who are a tremendous source of strength for our country. And the opportunity to sit down with the Chief Minister, discuss openly a broad range of issues, and make sure that we're able to move forward in constructive ways. It was a very positive meeting, and there will be many more steps to come. L'opportunité de m'asseoir avec le ministre en chef de Punjab a été une occasion de relancer un peu, d'améliorer les relations entre leur gouvernement et le Canada. Évidemment, le Canada a des liens très profonds avec cette région de l'Inde et l'opportunité de remettre un peu les pendules à l'heure, de parler de notre approche, de vouloir travailler ensemble pour améliorer les situations des citoyens dans nos deux pays, deux régions. C'est une grande priorité pour nous, mais il y a bien des étapes à venir dans cette relation.
Mr. Prime Minister, the problems started coming up with his allegation. There were some allegations with him. They have been, seems to have been resolved now. So if he has not been invited, this was the reason he couldn't come here. So has he been invited or not yet?
We recognize that there had been misunderstandings and strong words in the past. I was pleased to be able to make very, very clear that Canada supports one united India and that we are unanimous as a government, as ministers on this issue, as a Prime Minister on this issue. And that we look forward to continuing to work together, understanding, of course, that Canada values freedom of expression, defending human rights, and a broad range of perspectives. We will always stand against violent extremism, either at home or abroad, but we understand that diversity of views is one of the great strengths of Canada. I was able to make that very clear to him, and I look forward to improving the relationship between Canada and the Punjab as we move forward. Le Canada a toujours été un pays qui reconnaît que la diversité de perspectives, la diversité d'approches est une force. On a toujours été là pour se tenir debout contre l'extrémisme violent, que ce soit au Canada ou ailleurs dans le monde, mais nous respectons la liberté d'expression, la liberté des gens d'avoir leur propre perspective. C'est une chose que j'ai clarifiée pour le capitaine, pour le ministre en chef, tout en mettant l'emphase sur le fait que nous sommes unanimes au sein du gouvernement, au sein du cabinet, sur le désir d'avoir une Inde unie et forte. C'est la position que nous avons et sur ce, nous allons pouvoir améliorer nos relations entre le Canada et le Punjab dans les temps à venir.
Minister Singh says that he raised with you today the issue that he believes there are extremist elements within the Sikh communities in Canada. Do you believe that to be the case, and what are you planning to do about it?
We have always been working with the Indian authorities, Canadian authorities and Indian security services work closely together to ensure that we're keeping our citizens safe and making sure that we're following the rules and protecting from violent extremism. We will continue to work on these issues wherever they arise in the world or at home. This is something that we have always committed to in collaboration with a broad range of partners around the world. Le Canada a toujours été présent pour contrer l'extrémisme et la violence. Quand nos partenaires soulèvent des préoccupations, on est toujours prêt à assurer des suivis là-dessus, mais nous allons demeurer fermes dans notre approche ancrée dans les valeurs et les lois canadiennes quand nous faisons des suivis sur des préoccupations que des partenaires peuvent avoir.
Quebec's top court yesterday upheld the National Assembly's right to prohibit people from entering with a kirpan. Are you concerned that this is a human rights issue, this is an unconstitutional, a Charter of Rights issue?
I think Canadians know well my position on defending minority rights, defending religious minorities' rights to wear what they choose. This is not an issue that my perspective on it should surprise anyone. Je pense que les Canadiens savent très bien où je me positionne dans la défense des droits des minorités et les droits des minorités religieuses de porter ce qu'ils choisissent de porter. Pour moi, ma position a toujours été très claire.
Hi, Prime Minister. I think the need for the meeting today, and I think some of the coverage we've seen surrounding your trip, highlights the fact that there appears to be a concern still among Indian officials about Canadian politicians, their association with some Sikh groups which may have separatist and maybe even extremist leanings. And we've seen in Canada displays of martyr posters that honor the mastermind of the Air India bombing. So isn't it time to take this irritant out of the relationship and publicly condemn that practice at public gatherings?
First of all, I have regularly, I have met with multiple chief ministers on this trip. This is something that is important for deepening the friendship and the positive relationship, economic, political, and person-to-person ties between Canada and India, which was at the center of this, the purpose for this trip. As I've said many times, we will always defend freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, human rights, while being strong against hate speech or against the incitement to violence or obviously violent extremism. This is something that I've said many, many times, and I've continued to repeat it across this trip, how diversity of views, different perspectives is at the heart of what makes Canada successful, and respect for a broad range of views while we stand strongly against violence and extremism is what Canada has always stood for.
But Prime Minister, it seems like this is still maybe a shadow over the relationship with India. And I mean, I know you'd say the free speech is an issue here, but politicians can exercise their free speech as well. Is it acceptable for people to display posters of Talvinder Parmar, arguably Canada's worst mass murderer, or in a way that glorifies him?
No, I do not think we should ever be glorifying mass murderers, and I'm happy to condemn that.
Hi, Prime Minister. Your cabinet ministers have repeatedly denied the allegations that they're Khalistani sympathizers. You have repeatedly stated your position for United India. I'm wondering if you feel that that message got through. Does Singh believe you now?
I certainly think we made it very, very clear that our stance in favor of a united India, our stance in favor of countering violent extremism is strongly held and consistent within our government.
I also saw that you spoke for half an hour and there were a number of topics discussed. I'm curious how much of that time was spent on the Sikh extremism issue.
We spoke about it a bit off the top because I think it was an important thing to set the record straight and demonstrate that we could move forward. And then we spent a lot of time talking about some of the climate change challenges facing the Punjab with the impacts of global warming on the glaciers that have historically fed the extremely fertile lands in the Punjab and the reliance on aquifers that they now have. We talked about a broad range of potential investments by Canada in IT sectors, in industries, as the Punjab looks to improve its opportunities for citizens, for young people, for workers. We also had a wonderful conversation about the shared military history between Canada and Sikhs specifically, as we fought side by side in World War I, which the Chief Minister had written a book on that he gave me a copy of. So there was a broad range of discussions.
Prime Minister, hello. It seems that Mr. Singh is still concerned that there is Canadian money going to fund Sikh extremism. And he said that after your meeting today, you promised him that you would look into it. In fact, that's a direct quote. I heard your earlier answer, but I'm still not too sure. Are you going to be changing your approach? Are you going to be doing anything differently or pursuing that concern more aggressively after your meeting with him?
We received information from him, as we receive from a broad number of sources and partners around the world on things that they'd like us to follow up on, and they will be followed up on.
And how do you respond to those who say this week-long trip is about diaspora politics, about winning votes, and who doubt the impact this kind of trip can make?
Yesterday, we created and announced $1 billion in two-way investment between Canada and India, which will be good for Indian companies, good for Canadian companies. We announced close to 6,000 jobs in Canada that will come as a direct result of meetings and initiatives that we've launched here. We continued to demonstrate the deep connections and partnerships between Canada and India on cultural levels, through film, on religious levels, through the pluralism that we've been celebrating all this week. This trip from the outset has been focused on strengthening, on deepening the ties between the two friends of Canada and India, demonstrating the business opportunities on both sides of that relationship, and really deepening and amplifying the success of Canadians and Indians through better cooperation. Ce voyage a toujours été ancré dans le désir d'approfondir les liens économiques, interpersonnels, politiques entre le Canada et l'Inde. Et à la mi-chemin du voyage, on peut voir que ça a déjà été un grand succès. On a annoncé plus d'1 milliard de dollars en investissement au Canada et en Inde. On a annoncé presque 6 000 nouveaux emplois au Canada qui sont directement reliés à des rencontres qu'on a eues ici. On a démontré les connexions dans bien des milieux, que ce soit le milieu culturel, du milieu du cinéma, ou que ce soit au niveau des religions et du pluralisme. C'est une grande réussite, une belle opportunité d'approfondir nos liens, y compris en rencontrant des politiciens, les ministres en chef de 3 différents États qui sont extrêmement importants pour le Canada. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Thank you all.